I don't think that would be like a good idea, because you've just finished your bachelor's degree and even with that you didn't find a job. So why don't you just use the money that you have saved up to rather invest into a business? Because if you invest in the business, that'll be like your own business, and within like a short period you will make some money, because you just can't continue studying when the studies that you are indulging in is not bringing you so much money. Do you understand what I'm saying? Those how people just wake up and then start spewing single narratives on social media. Like, they just wake up and they're like, why don't you start a business? Why don't you do this? Those are an issue I've been thinking about for a while now. Like how people have been talking about, oh, don't go to school, don't bother, just learn a skill. Oh, just start a business. And as for school, it's not so useful lately. It pains me. Like, saying these things honestly shows how unexposed you are. It tells me that your worldview is very limited. You are not so exposed. Your opinions are very limited, and you just make conclusions based on just your locality or where you live or what has happened in your life. And so please stop saying those things, people. Okay? Before we continue, I'd like to reintroduce myself. My name is Afakuma Pia, and here on this channel, I talk about study abroad opportunities, abroad opportunities, and sometimes bring in some Niger Ghana banter, and also bring in lifestyle inspirations from people's experiences or my personal experiences. If these subjects sound interesting to you, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, so that whenever I upload a video, you'll be the very first person to see it. Please subscribe, please. Thank you for doing that. Let's continue. In today's video, I would like to give my 2 cents on this regular thing that has been going on social media, where people constantly shame people who have degrees, like who have stronger classes, like first class, second class upper and things like that, but unfortunately not finding jobs. Everyone just starts, like, just gives an opinion and thinks that these people are lazy people or these people are failures. And we even have cases where people are suggesting that people should just leave school and instead focus on businesses and focus on skills and other creative arts, or even content creation and other things. Like anything apart from school in this generation, I think is fine in their own opinion. So that is the conversation I'd like for us to have today. Today's video is dedicated to all of my viewers who have degrees with good classes but don't have jobs yet. It's a very sad situation. And let me say this thing today. Can we all accept that we have individual strength? For example, somebody like me, if you take me to a pre-technical class, a pre-vocational class, I'm very likely to fail. But if you take me to any social or reading class, I'm more than likely to excel. You know, so can we appreciate that we have individual strength and we have individual differences? And not everyone has been blessed enough to be multi-talented, like can do well in business, can do well in creative arts, and also do well in school. Can we stop telling people that if you're not finding a job, just start a business? I think that's a very annoying perspective and a very privileged perspective. It's not even ridiculous that we live in an era where people shame people who have degrees. Like, people who are rather smart in school are now being shamed. You know, people just shame school. Let me tell you that not everybody can be a business owner. Not everyone has been called to do this entrepreneurial thing. And before you give yourself pressure, or before you think that my friend just started selling something that person is making, let me tell you, not everyone is succeeding in this business world. But then some people have support in terms of family support. Some have support in terms of their partners. Some of them are just doing business, but they are doing other stuff. And you can't really tell that. At least we've learned a lot of things from social media for us to understand that what we see is not what is really happening. And we also have people who are doing 9-to-5 jobs and they are still making it. Not everyone can lead a business. And in the future, if we all learn skills and if we all become creatives, who will become the doctors? Whose kids will become the lawyers? Who will teach our kids in school? Like, if we keep on laughing at education, if we keep on laughing like knowledge is power, all of these things sound ridiculous to this generation. Like, it's a very sad thing that I'm talking about today. We go on Facebook, we go on Instagram, and we TikTok, like we see how people shame people who choose to go to school. It's not funny. And had it not been like bad governance in many parts of the sub-Saharan African region, like how dare you laugh at people who are smart in school? That some people do not do so well in school, but do well in other fields like business and other areas. The same way that you can get like a very intelligent student in school who cannot even hold a thread and needle to start like any fashion thing or to draw. So we have individual gifts. So I think it's really like disrespectful for individuals who try and shame others because they were smart in school, but unfortunately after school, they are not finding jobs. If you're to school, please pursue it. Especially if you are from a poor background like myself. I think school is a leveler. Like I always say, the formal education is a leveler. If the opportunity has not yet presented itself, then fair enough. But if it presents itself, then I would advise that please, if you are good in school, please take it very seriously and excel at it. So let us go into some of the 4 things that people who are gifted academically can do with their degrees. First of all, sell your knowledge. Sell your knowledge. The same people who disrespect you every time that you are smart but you don't have a job is because, please, this message is not coming from a privileged perspective. Please sell your knowledge. Because you are good at this thing, you can teach people. You can teach people who need it. It could be at all levels. And teaching, we are not all called to be teachers also, but then if temporarily it can help you feed yourself while you look at something that you really want to do regarding your field, please teach people and let them pay you. You can also hold one-on-one classes, or you can also start a consultancy based on your field or your academic field. You can also start a consultancy where you offer solutions, because I strongly believe that the idea or the reason why we go to school is for us to get knowledge that can be impacted to become something useful. That should be the end game for our education journey, not just knowing theories. So when you are selling your knowledge, you are selling things that you know. So try and start a consultancy. The second thing I can say is that, please, if you are someone who wants to travel abroad, even if you don't like the idea of traveling abroad, you could just apply for higher education and study abroad. That is all I can tell you right now. In as much as I acknowledge that studying abroad can be very tedious, that whole process can be tedious. If the country where you are living does not appreciate good minds, leave the country. Now, people even live in part of Africa and then work remotely. Look for those websites, look for those avenues, and then make use of your knowledge. Please don't just say, oh, as for me, I don't want to live abroad, I don't want to work abroad. If we all school abroad, who will take care of the country? Or the country cares about you so much, that country would have made use of your knowledge. So where there is no need for your knowledge, look elsewhere where your knowledge will be respected, or where your knowledge is needed. You take those stereotypes aside, take those fears aside. I know that moving out of your country is not always pleasant. Like I've made a recent video about it. It's not always pleasant, but pros and cons, and look at the bigger side. If you have to apply for school abroad, please apply for school abroad, study abroad and make your moves. If you want to work abroad, look for websites and things like that. Speak to people who have used that same route to travel abroad or to work abroad, for them to show you the way. I believe many people will be willing to show you the ways. The third thing I can encourage you to do is to please take up professional programs. Look for professional programs. Look for programs in demand in the area of healthcare, in the area of IT. Like, look for things like that, because you are gifted, because you are academically good. You can easily divert into different fields. You can pursue professional programs. You can pursue master's degree in any field. I believe that you can always change the narrative as long as you have the resources and then you are willing to do so. The final thing I want to say to people who find themselves in this kind of unfortunate circumstances is that, please try and add skills and attitudes to your degree. Beyond your first class, beyond you always saying, I have a first class, I have a second class upper, beyond it, what else are you offering to the table? What else are you bringing to the table? How is your communication skills like? When you go for interviews, how do you perform? How is your attitude towards work? How is your punctuality? Apart from you getting a first class, really, are you lazy? Do you have integrity? Are you honest? Do you meet deadlines? Like, doing things a little bit extra would actually help you to beyond your first class. Like, the first class is just a degree, it's just classroom knowledge. But how about your work attitude? I think it's very important that we check all of those things as well, so that beyond our degrees, we can become more useful beyond the certificate that we find. Like, we can become more useful beyond the paper that we have as a certificate or as testament of our academic brilliance. Let's transfer that skills, that knowledge skills, to the workspace. Let's do better. Let's do well. Let's not just brag or go about telling people about the fact that we have first class degree, we have this and we have that. Some of us are even not willing to travel, like, because the work is in Sunyani or Tamale. I feel like I live in Takrade. I don't want to leave family behind. Please, all of these things, it doesn't really help. So let's try and also work on our skills and attitude, like especially timelines, meeting timelines, being a little bit extra, dedication, commitment, and all of that. I don't like, no boss will turn away people like that. If you are smart in the classroom, try and also be smart at the workplace. Don't just relegate to the background. And also, still at the workplace area, you should also try and network. Don't just fold your arms and say, I have the first class. Attend seminars, attend retreats, and definitely Anybody who sees your degree, your class, and sees you, have that personality and try and network so that you can, through seminars and through engagement and things like that, you can also build connections to help you secure a role. And while at it, you also excel at the workplace, and then you make your degree useful. And let me just even add that we don't just go to school because of school aside. School is a good tool for networking. Apart from networking, like, it makes your brain work. Imagine having a generation where people are uneducated. How do we converse when it comes to political debates? We are in a digitization era where the world is going fast into AI and other technology stuff. And then you don't want to go to school. Like, how do you learn about business, about consultancy, about financial transactions and things like that? But beyond the money, like for yourself, school does a lot of good to you. So please, let's stop disrespecting people who have degrees and then trashing them as if they went to school. My friend went to open a store, and within 4 years, now my friend who has a store has built a house. She went to school and she's at home. Please, like, let's stop saying those things, people. It's very inappropriate. So let's try and abstain from saying these harsh words to people, because nobody is just happy that they find themselves in this kind of situation. And those of us who find ourselves in this situation too, I hope the few tips I have given would also be very useful in helping you to, navigate through this unfortunate circumstance. Thank you so much for watching. Like, come your way again next time. Bye.